Hello, Franklin County. This is Kenneth Wilson, your county administrator, and I'm here with another edition of Talk of the County. This particular episode will highlight our up and coming youth and young people. We're going to talk about issues facing our younger generation that are making moves here in Franklin County. I'm pleased today to be with one of Franklin County's dynamic interns, who also happens to be a student at the Ohio State University, OHIO, and all that other stuff that happens on the exciting campus in the center of our city, Columbus, in Franklin County. Olivia Peebles.
Yep.
You are a student at the John Glenn College for Public Affairs.
Mm-hmm.
You are a emerging senior to be?
Yes. I actually cannot believe it, but yes, I'm at the John Glenn College studying public management, leadership, and policy with a specialization in education policy and then a minor in African and African American studies.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Repeat all of that. Repeat all that.
So public management, leadership, and policy, which kind of simples down to public affairs, any of those government relations and nonprofit work, stuff like that. And then education policy has always been my passion. So that's the very niche area that I'm studying. And then my minor, I feel like, just provides a lot of historical context for the issues that I hope to deal with. So African and African American studies, sort of separate from John Glenn, but glad to have it.
Okay. So all that translates to podcast listeners is Olivia would like to run the world in some type of way and be a force for good in a public arena.
Mm-hmm.
So coming up, did you like physics class in government?
No physics. No physics, no chemistry.
Civics. Did you like civics? Civics. I meant to say that you love civics. Did you love civics?
I did. So I was an IB student, International Baccalaureate, in Shaker Heights, where I grew up. And we had a lot of, I feel like, classes that wanted you to think holistically and think for yourself. And we did have theory of knowledge and government and things like that. And I think that has always kind of been on the forefront of my mind.
And what has been the biggest surprise as you delve deeper into leadership, public policy, government? What has been your biggest surprise?
I think my biggest surprise has been the way that the government still has to work like a business. I think a lot of the times growing up, obviously I didn't understand the government as well, but I did a lot of volunteer opportunities and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, this is the stuff the government's working on and we're helping our community. But I don't think I realized how much strategic planning and time and laws there were to abide by to make sure that things are getting done the right way.
You know, there's a lot of young people that feel that like government does not represent them, doesn't work for them. We don't have the enthusiasm that I would like to see for civic engagement.
Yeah.
Is that just a myth, or is there any truth to that?
I don't think it's a myth. I talk about this one class I took my freshman year a lot. It was called Public Service and Civic Engagement. And a lot of what we talked about was the way different generations have interacted with government and participating in government and different processes, like things for community development, like when you guys have boards and bring in community members. And I think that with my generation, people are sort of in a standstill. Mm-hmm. Not all people. I think a lot of people are very aware and very active in what they're passionate about. Mm-hmm. But I do think a lot of people have come to a sort of standstill where they feel like nothing will happen, so they don't want to participate. But that is not the case. I do think that if people were more vocal and active, especially in their local governments, that they would see a change from that.
Because I know, if we had higher levels of youth engagement, I think we would have different outcomes.
Yeah.
Because people would, I mean, the power of young people.
It's true. It's true. And I think we still have the energy. So that's why it kind of disappoints me when people are sort of not sure that their government will do anything for them. Because if you get out there and you start working for it, especially in a large group, and I think my generation knows how to mobilize. We know how to use new resources such as social media and get people together, but you just have to want to do it and stick to it. How engaged are students at Ohio State? You would think in the Glenn College that they would be. Yes, Glenn College for sure. Very involved, whether that's at a local, state, federal level, activism on campus, nearby. People are very involved. But I think that it's also very shocking. I come from a very liberal city in Cleveland, and I think it was very shocking coming to Ohio State and noticing that there is a very wide range of participation. I'm around a lot of people who maybe are not as aware or involved or don't want to really participate in those things. But I think that a vast majority of students on campus are very tapped in and active.
So do you feel like, can you provide any examples of where student engagement has brought about change on campus during your 3+ years there?
Yeah, I think something that maybe did not result in a clear change, but when we were dealing with a lot of protests in support of Palestine, we learned how the university responds to that. A lot of that was about divesting from certain funds that were not supporting the students' interest. And I wouldn't say it necessarily ended in the way that protesters wanted it to, but we did learn a lot about how to protest on campus, things like that, how to speak up for yourself and support your peers. So I think that was a good change, even if it wasn't the result that they were always intending. Yeah.
How much do students connect with the past? And when I'm talking about the past, I'm talking about the civil rights movement.
I don't.
The 50s, the 60s,
I don't
all the way
think
through the
people
70s.
connect with that
Do
enough.
they connect with that?
I don't think people connect with that enough, which is why I'm actually so grateful to have my minor, because I learned about things like sit-ins in Greensboro or like, God, what is it called? SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Like, I learned about so many things and ways to mobilize your community and achieve what you want that I don't think people are aware enough about. And that was actually from a class called Civil Rights and Black Power Movements. And I think that was probably one of the most influential things looking towards history to combat the things that we're worried about now.
Yeah, movements require sacrifice. A revolution isn't deciding that you're not going to eat fries from a certain fast food establishment.
Exactly. And then going back a month later.
Yeah,
So
do
definitely
people
need some
really understand the
consistency.
deepness of what real sacrifice means to bring about change?
I really don't think so. I think that's kind of going back to the idea that a lot of people are sort of in this standstill where they are sort of watching from behind a screen and not really internalizing how serious things are. And then they kind of fall off from their commitments.
Because it's hard, particularly if it's something that
it's hard.
They like.
Yes, exactly.
They like coffee from a certain place. And if someone says, let's boycott them because of their policies.
Exactly. And I've been victim to it myself.
A million years away, a million miles away, they'd be like, can we pick something else to protest against that I really don't like,
Exactly.
We can protest against Brussels sprouts. No offense to Brussels sprout lovers, but,
Yeah.
Don't support the Brussels sprout farmers or something. They can do that, but
not us. No, yeah. And I think it obviously does always come down to the dollar, but I don't know. I think something that I wonder all the time, especially as like our political climate changes so much, is what can we do? Like, instead of just boycotting these places or just protesting like one time or something, I do wonder a lot, like, what can my generation do that can make consistent or long-term change.
I mean, you think about the power of collegiate athletes now.
Yeah.
With name, image, and likeness power,
Yeah.
with their ability to enforce power through the selection of where they choose to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And they can walk into the administration rooms and say, look, I want all the students in this particular group to have these benefits.
Yeah.
And it can carry weight.
That would probably make a difference if the athletes got more involved too. I think that would be nice. They have such a presence, like nationwide.
I mean, they yield tremendous power, and they're beginning to even have more power. You know, there's been talk about more athletes opting to go to HBCUs to as a form of saying it's about all of us, not just me.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely think having a more community-driven mindset is something that will benefit my generation also. Realizing like you're not alone and you should want to support your community too.
Yeah, you know, thinking about having that level of civic mindedness, even though you are blessed with a special skill that gives you as an individual special benefits.
Yep.
You know, you
back to
really
that
don't
sacrifice.
You don't feel oppressed if you are a 5-star athlete.
Yeah.
You eating the best meals, you live in the
best
of,
dining hall,
you
the
got
best
all the you got the
facilities.
best of everything.
Yeah.
You know, you're far from oppressed during that time. But if you blow your knee out or something, then you all of a sudden become a regular member of student body.
Right.
And then you see things differently. What are your thoughts? How could a lot of athletes, once they turn pro, many of them turn out, and they set up foundations and they began to do that. Even I give credit to the generation of athletes, even after me, they're more thoughtful about that than even some ones earlier. There was a gap.
Yeah.
There was a gap. There was athletes that were in the 60s, in the movement, part of the movement, the 70s. And then during the 80s, you had athletes more concerned about their brand than civic engagement.
Okay.
And then comes athletes like LeBron James that want to make a difference and is not worried about who buys shoes, who gonna buy their shoes.
Yeah. I think it's also about accountability. I think that's one thing that I'm proud of my generation for. Not as much cancel culture, but I am proud of my generation's ability to call out when people are in a position to do good and don't. So I think that there is somewhat an expectation for people in privileged positions to really like get involved and try and do something these days, especially if they can. So I would love to see that with college athletics programs.
Yeah, I think that leadership within athletic programs could also have an influence there if they integrated into the culture of the athletic programs. That yes, you're part of the student body, but you also part of a larger community, and you have responsibilities and obligations to use your celebrity, to use your influence for good.
And the Buckeye community is endless. Like, that spans across the nation, probably somewhat across the world. So I know like an insane impact can be made if people keep tapping into that community.
Yeah.
Alumni on campus, prospective students, people that are just fans.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
You can go, think about that though. You can go anywhere in the world and you say OH, somebody's going to say IO. I truly believe. I mean, you can
everywhere I go.
Anywhere. Yeah. You can be on a desert island and then somebody come out of a hut.
It's huge.
Come out of a hut now. So you'd be like, I thought I was on a desert island.
And it's crazy because growing up, everyone from my hometown went to Ohio State. So I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. But as soon as I got here, I knew I was in the right place. I think especially being a public affairs student and being able to be in the Capitol, that was huge for me. But just the community on this campus is very inspiring. I love it. I love being a Buckeye.
That is why? It's like 100,000 people there. So how did you feel like, oh, I'm at home?
I don't even know. I think I got lucky. I had a random roommate that was phenomenal, Miss Meadow. And then I joined Student Alumni Council, and that's an entity of our alumni association.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm currently our vice president of membership, and our goal is to boost community and strengthen programs that relate to professional development or even just school spirit, a lot of different things. And I think that Buckeyes want people to feel included. People that really embrace that Buckeye spirit, OHIO, really are looking out for each other. So
I didn't know that I didn't know today's podcast gonna be a recruitment video.
It is.
That was a little syrupy right there. That was like almost made a tear come down my eye.
I'm a Buckeye for life, unfortunately, now. 4 years ago, I would have never expected that to be the case. So, yeah, I love it here.
The huge land grant university that happens to be based in the largest county in the state of Ohio, you made it sound like,
little small town university.
Like a warm and fuzzy, comfortable place.
Yeah. I really think it is. If you make the most of it, you get everything you need out of it. Like, the support they have for students is just insane. Like, I'm personally a moral scholar, which is a very extensive scholarship program that's looking for students that are leaders and passionate about the things that we're passionate about here. There's things like the Young Scholars program that scout people from middle school. Like, I'll just rave about Ohio State forever. But, yeah.
Okay, podcasters, you've heard a lot of great things about Ohio State. What could Ohio State do better for students?
Let me think. There's definitely
free football tickets.
That would be awesome. Those are getting more expensive every single year, so that would be awesome.
Bigger discount or something.
I don't know.
Bring the dairy store closer. Isn't that great ice cream on campus? That's a thing with land grant universities. You always got great ice cream.
There are. I honestly am having there are obviously always ways to improve, but I'm having a hard time thinking of things they can improve just because I have learned so much about the university and what there is to offer. But I guess, I almost wanted to say streamlining communication so people know how much there is to offer, but they kind of do that. I'll have to think about that one.
Do you have like a broad social network that you have on campus?
I would say.
Or do you got a close group and a small circle of close-knit people that?
Yeah, I definitely have my girls, my close-knit group. But I think being in programs like SAC, Student Alumni Council, or even just my learning community when I first moved into the dorms, I've met so many people that have changed the way I kind of view the world and think about college. So I'm one of those people that always kind of wants to get to know everyone and learn something from them and hang out with them. So I would definitely say I have a pretty wide circle because I like to learn. I like to be influenced by others. Everyone's doing something cool.
Okay. And you have a little experience. This is not your first podcast.
Right.
Talk a little bit about your podcast experience.
So again, with SAC, we have a podcast where I was not as directly involved with this one, but they would be interviewing alumni one-on-one. So that one was really cool. Again, just boosting the Buckeye spirit, learning more about what we do, and keeping people connected, maybe even encouraging professional endeavors between alumni and people on campus now. But when I was in high school, I was a part of our school newspaper, The Shakerite, and we had a podcast then, and that was coverage of anything that could have been happening in school, or maybe it was something national.
The Shakerite.
The Shakerite. So I was from Shaker Heights, and our school newspaper was The Shakerite. It was cute. I loved it so much. I was an education columnist, so that's always been something.
Did that come with a mascot or something? Shaker right. What's a shaker right?
We were the Raiders, but they should have a mascot. I'll have to tell them that. My little sister's on the newspaper now. But we also had the student group on race relations, which was honestly one of the biggest clubs at Shaker.
In high school? Wow.
Yeah.
That's progressive right there for
Yeah. So Columbus is an awesome place, but I had a culture shock coming from Shaker where things are so progressive. So that was always something interesting to me. But with SCORE, we met weekly, and I was a core leader. So I hosted a group of maybe like 12 to 15 students at my house every week, and we would discuss pressing topics, race relations, things like that. And we had a podcast with that organization also, where it was kind of interviewing core leaders about their passion, how they got into it, and special guests if we could get them.
Okay. 12, you are social. You had 12 people at your house once a week.
I am very social. I'm an extrovert to the core. Like any social interaction, that's getting me, I'm energized.
So do you think you would ever want to run for political office, or you'd want to be a person behind the scenes making great things happen?
That is something I've had to think of a lot. Yeah. I think I would, but I really do like behind the scenes work and making sure that everything is gelling together well. I feel like being a people person can go sort of one of two ways. I think one, I could be sort of an outward facing person, but I also like working behind the scenes and sort of keeping everyone together. So it could really go one of two ways, which is why I'm so happy to be here with the county, because I'm learning so much about all of the different government and public affairs roles that I could have that I never knew about. So it could go either way, and I'm hoping to find out.
In the time you've been here as an intern, some of my first impressions of talking with you and communicating with you, I know that your mother and father have been very influential in your development and in your life and the things you have thrived at. But with that being said, who would be your favorite politician? Who would be your favorite politician? What politician?
Oh my goodness. I guess I'll go with two. Just the first that come to mind, AOC. I love AOC. And Nina Turner. I think that there is just something so awesome to me about seeing a very strong woman in front of a group or in front of the public talking about things that people don't want to talk about. So I would say Nina Turner and Alexandria Cortez.
What you like about them? Reputation of speaking truth to power?
Yes, absolutely. And just like not backing down, because that's going back to the consistency. You have to be able to keep nagging about the same things if you want something to change, especially coming from maybe a point of view that has a smaller following or something. So I think that that is something so inspiring about them, that they are never willing to back down from what they believe, even if the majority or people right in front of their faces are saying, well, what can we do about that? I feel like they're very vocal and true to themselves.
What other people, authors, book writers, from professions, who else you see and you look at them from afar and be like, they're really cool?
Let me think. It's hard to pull exact names.
They could be in finance. They could be in entertainment. They could be
someone really cool.
Or you so locked into public affairs that you just look at public.
Not at all. I'm trying.
Who in pop culture?
I know. Cool. Like who do I follow? I'm very much like a binge watcher, so I'm not too tapped into pop culture. That's like one of my biggest flaws. My sisters are always talking about cool things, and I don't know what they're talking about, but I love Kerry Washington.
What's on your playlist? What's on your
Everything. I love any genre. That could go from rap, R&B, rock, musicals. Like, I don't know. I think that I'm one of those people
What's the song most often in your head?
Most often in my head. I've been listening to Yukon by Justin Bieber a lot. There's a new album out. It's called Swag.
Okay. I thought he had retired. Okay. He ain't done
He'll
yet.
never retire. I hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is it called again?
Yukon.
Yukon.
And the album is called Swag.
And the album's called Swag.
Yeah. And apparently it's an abbreviation for something. Like, I don't know.
What you do for fun? I already think I'm gonna know the answer to just hang out with people. But
Yeah.
What you do for fun?
I do love to hang out, but I also work a lot on the weekend, so doing that, whatever, going out with friends. I love yoga. I love some time to decompress. I'm really a TV girl. I'll sit and watch a show for hours, which I wish I didn't do sometimes, but
You binge watch.
For sure. Yeah. I just watched The Mindy Project for like the 8th time. It's one of my favorite shows, Mindy Kaling. So yeah, I'm a binge watcher.
So that's your escape from studying hard.
Yeah.
And reading about all the different things you had to read about. Mm-hmm. When you have a major, there's a paragraph.
I know. I always feel so bad saying it because I feel like, to me, I got it. I got it
like
unlocked.
a paragraph.
That's my script, but people are
They're
like,
going to run out of space on your diploma a year from now to put all of that down.
I know. Yeah.
They're going to run out of space on your diploma.
But yeah, I'm a busybody, so I like to have my show going or my music playing all at the same time.
If you could choose the OSU commencement speaker when you graduate this spring, who would that be?
Oh my goodness, that's such a crazy question. Let me.
That's
think.
why I asked it.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. Who would I want to be our commencement speaker?
This is gonna tell people a lot.
Wow.
Cause you danced around the question of who are you really when you gave me AOC and you gave me Nina. You danced after that when I asked you about influential people in your life. You just danced around me. So I had to come back.
That's hard. I don't know if I have like.
Who? It's got to be anybody. You can be on the phone and you call him, and anybody gonna be the commencement speaker. And then you gonna give the speech for your senior class before that commencement speaker. Would that motivate you?
Oh my goodness.
Oprah, President Obama.
Oh my God.
Who else?
See, now I'm just thinking AOC or Kerry Washington because I like them.
Kerry Washington.
I think they're cool.
Scandal. Okay.
Scandal. That's a big one for me. Huge.
Okay, so you'll be AOC or Kerry Washington?
Yeah.
If that's your final answer?
I just feel like I would love to see a strong vocal woman up there. Because that's what I've always been. And I've been considered to be stern or sort of forceful. But I think when people see like how much that woman can do, that would be beautiful. Great
What about
speech.
Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown?
That would be amazing.
That'd be strong.
That would be amazing.
That's strong.
Yeah.
That'd be strong.
That really would be. Maybe I'll have to try and write her.
What's your favorite food?
I love a burger. It's my weakness. I love a burger. Yeah, burger. Anything pasta. I'm not picky, but I have a lot of allergies. So that kind of hinders me a little. But yeah.
You don't have a peanut allergy, do you?
I sure do.
Oh my God. That would be so tough.
I'm allergic to all nuts, all fish, sometimes
all
soy.
that protein just going off the table.
It's crazy. But I'm so used to it by now.
And I bet
it's like
you
nothing
run
to me.
into a lot of other of your friends that have allergies. That's the subject for another Talk of the County podcast, because I mean, my generation, I don't think we was allergic to nothing. Because we
Really?
was like exposed to everything. You
Okay.
just outside, just be left outside for hours breathing in everything. So you built an immunity to everything.
I did actually think about that a lot sometimes. I'm so badly allergic to cats and dogs, unless they're hypoallergenic. And I would always think, oh, maybe if I just had a cat when I was a kid or like a dog, I would have been fine. But
So any dogs or cats been around, you just sneezing and
unless it's hypoallergenic, that's the only thing I can do, which is pretty much like not any type of cat.
So you've been during your internship, you've been visiting agencies. You not. I want you to go to the animal shelter.
And I think I actually go to see them next
You
week.
might break out of something. We don't want to do that.
I'm going to make sure to take my nasal spray, allergy medicine, probably pack some Benadryl. I'm excited. And unfortunately, I'm going to pet the dog.
Even in the community room. I don't know. I'm glad I asked that question.
Yeah, I actually thought about that when I was planning that one, but I was like, I'll risk it for a day. I'm excited.
Where do you, is there anywhere you don't want to go tour while you're an intern here? And don't worry, we won't let that director know if you say they won't be offended.
I mean, I'm sure as you've noticed, I'm a very curious person, so most things do interest me. But I think when it gets down to like sort of the more I don't know, like technical work things, like maybe like genuinely like budgeting offices or like auditing or things like that. The things that are kind of more just processes that have to be done in the government. I'm just someone that's very driven by a purpose to help and serve. So I think that all of that work is so important to be able to like make sure you're submitting things and your files look great, all that. But that is definitely not something I'd be the most excited to tour.
You're going to grow up and be one of those people that are program oriented, come up with all these great grand programs that help all these people.
I really
worry
hope so.
about how much it costs later.
I'll find a way. I'll always find a way. I will always find a way.
Yeah, you're gonna be proposing big things,
And
big
pushing
things.
for them.
And pushing for them.
My dad always said I should be a lobbyist, but I have not actually explored that yet. I'll have to see what that's about before I graduate sometime.
Yeah, advocacy work is makes the world go around. And if you're forceful, and you're persistent,
And I am.
those are two key attributes.
Yeah. That's exactly why he always said that. Because I honestly think I cannot waver from myself. Like that, if I have a stance on something or an opinion on something, I want to stand by that. I am always open to new perspectives and learning like the full story of things and learning why other people think different things. But it's hard to shake me from what I stand for.
You like to debate.
I do. Yeah, I grew up in a family where at dinner we could debate anything. We could debate anything at all, and it was just important to listen to everyone fully and try and learn something from it. And usually my dad was not doing that. It was me and my two sisters telling him, okay, wait, no, think about it this way, da-da-da-da-da. So that's definitely always been in me.
Where ultimately you see yourself 10 years from now?
Yeah. So I obviously am graduating this year, and then I plan to get my master's and probably stick around Columbus for a little bit. But I have always really wanted to move to North Carolina. We have some family down there, and we used to pretty much, my sisters and I, we used to spend a few weeks at a time with our aunt. And I just think that North Carolina is one of those, particularly my aunt lives in like the Wake Forest, Raleigh, like Durham area. And I think it's just somewhere that's so developing and has so much potential that I would be very excited to move there. That's another reason why like I started getting interested in city planning. I've never studied city planning, but seeing how much they can do and like how things that you wouldn't even think the government is thinking about that intentionally makes such a change. And I feel like they have a lot of land and a lot of potential. So I could always see myself there. That's probably one of my favorite places to go.
We got to keep you busy here though, because Wake County, North Carolina, ironically, is where my oldest daughter lives.
Really?
On a home right now. So
It's awesome. It's awesome. I love it there. Can't wait to visit my aunt soon enough.
the Research Triangle. Yes. You got Duke, you got
Everything.
NC State,
Everything.
and you have the Tar Heels of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Yep. And I love it. My dad went to Duke. My aunt teaches around the Triangle. My best friend goes to UNC. So I love it down there. I could definitely see myself down there.
The John Glenn MPA program gonna have to really be on their game because the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill has arguably one of the strongest MPA programs in the country.
And it's hard.
And I'm purposely trying to get him no shout out, but I only know this because I came out of a small but mighty program down in Athens, Ohio that can hold its own against most. The Voinovich School for Leadership and Public Service can hold their own.
I actually have looked at master's and dual degree programs with UNC just because North Carolina has always been a safe spot for me. And my parents don't want me going anywhere crazy because I always need help. I always need to call them and be able to get to them. So I can't go just anywhere.
You can't go anywhere?
I can't go just anywhere.
You still call on them?
For sure. Yeah. So I honestly might consider grad programs down there, but I'm so stuck on John Glenn. So we'll have to see.
Stay stuck on John
Yeah,
Glenn
I
College.
probably will be.
We Franklin County has had a great relationship with the Glenn College, and we've had established an internship program with MPA students for their 2 years, and many of them have gone on to become members of Team Franklin County.
I love it. I think I have talked to a few people. John Glenn here.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So we definitely have a connection there. And I'm biased. Franklin County is the best place to live in Midwest. So if you're gonna be Midwestern, you want to live in Franklin County.
Columbus, it's on the up.
Best
Up and
place to
coming.
live in the Midwest. We have a high number of college graduates. Plenty of people to debate with. If you like to debate, you can just debate everywhere.
Always.
You
Anyway.
can find a corner coffee shop and just debate all day. Just debate people all day.
I might have to. Might have to get into that.
We working on creating housing of all types. So the future is only going to be brighter here in Franklin County. So we're gonna work on keeping you excited and keeping you passionate about what you're doing here. Yeah. Because I'm hearing so many people today make statements to me like, if I'm not passionate about something, I'm not doing it. And I'm like, well, what about food, shelter, healthcare? Yeah. You just operating on passion. If it's not a passion, you don't do it.
Some things just need to get done. And I honestly think that I have always had such a soft heart, like as a child. I was very emotional. I felt like everyone deserved everything. And then I grew up and I was like, that is not at all how things work. But hopefully I can somehow be a part of getting people what they need, but also what they want. I just want people to be happy. Like, I feel like that sounds so silly, but
so you were one of those kids that didn't want anyone to sit alone in the cafeteria.
No. No one sitting alone. No one uninvited. Yeah. Because if you get to know someone, you might like them. You don't know. You might want to help them.
So you do got to be careful where you live at, because there's some places where people just aren't
not good,
like friendly, like they don't want. They don't like to make eye contact. They don't.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But thankfully, that has not been my experience here or in North Carolina. So I know I got two good places there.
I can't argue. Gotta have options.
Gotta have some options for sure.
Gotta have options. Talking to county listeners, you need to have options. So, where do you like to vacation? Now we talk. Well, I've already asked you where you see yourself would like to live. Where
Yeah.
do you like to vacation?
Yeah, so we obviously go to North Carolina a lot, and I absolutely love the Outer Banks. All those beaches are beautiful, very relaxing, but I would consider myself more of a lake girl. So any lake, I'm going to love that. But we recently went on a cruise with my family for winter break, so that was really nice. I'm honestly just one of those go with the flow people. Like, if my family wants to do it, cool. Let's do it.
You don't need to see the itinerary.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
advance. You just roll with
Yeah.
it. I always
Maybe I'll have to go spend some time alone and relax. But
I always ask on this podcast whether you are beach or mountains, and you just said you lake.
lake,
That's
mountains
something
and
new.
lake. I think
Lake.
that is way better to me. I would go camping, cabins, like that's beautiful to me. The beach is cool, but I don't need to go too often. Like too much sand, so
You
hot.
are a true Ohioan to say lake.
The lake. Take me to the lake. I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. I love the lake. The beach is just for visits.
West Coast people don't.
I know.
No, they don't say lake.
No, yeah. I'm definitely
Lakes,
team lake.
lakes don't have appreciation.
But they can be scary.
Ocean.
I just saw something.
They think ocean.
Yeah, true. The ocean can be scary though. But I saw something released recently about Lake Erie. It's like a series on Hulu about all the scary things going on there. So I might have to watch that. But I'm still Team Lake.
Okay. What about fashion? You into fashion at all?
I'm not. I'm unfortunately not. My sisters are some of the most like stylish and artistic people, and that completely missed me. I was not necessarily tomboyish, but a little more just like, hey, I'll throw on like a t-shirt and shorts. And like my little sister wears this cute little bag to school. She's 16 now. She'll have like cute camo pants and makeup and jewelry. And for me, I like something that's kind of simple and cute. That'll do it for me.
So, art. You into art? Not into
No,
art?
but I do love music. I grew up kind of a band nerd. Played piano first. I started in kindergarten, played for a little bit. And then I played guitar for a little, took lessons for both of those. And at Shaker, you had to decide in the 5th grade whether you were going to join band or orchestra. And the Shaker bands is like a huge thing. So I chose band and I started playing flute. And then they asked me to switch to bassoon. That was really fun. And then by high school, we had the marching band, and bassoon is like huge. Absolutely. Like it's probably like 5 feet tall. I don't even know. Maybe a little less. But I played cymbals in the marching band. So I'm not as much into like paper pencil art and canvas and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But anything music related is going to get me.
What is going to be the next big thing?
The next big thing?
Yes. After AI.
After AI. Okay. Whoa. AI is going to end us. I don't know what's going to come after AI. I can't say I love it. I think AI can be very cool, but it's like taking over everywhere. So what is going to come even bigger than AI? That's hard. Oh my God, I have no idea.
No idea. Okay. That's fair. When will we elect the first woman president in these United States of America?
Good question.
Is it in the next, will it be the next election, the election after that, or the election after that?
Right. So it sucks to
It's
say.
got to happen.
It needs to happen.
It's
It needs
got
to happen.
Let's put
Yeah.
the extra emphasis. It got to happen
It's
for us.
got to
It
happen
need to
immediately. But I think it might be a while. I think that this most recent election was kind of telling that there are a lot of people across the country that do not have a modernized view of women still. So I think it'll be a while to get the numbers to confidently say this woman will win. I think women will continue to run and will continue to back them. But I'm just hopeful that there is a shift in ideology across the country, because just like seeing the hate that the Harris Walz campaign got for nothing was crazy to me. So maybe it'll be 16 years or something, but I'm hopeful that like people campaigning will start to make a change in that, especially with what we have going on now. Like, there's no way that you thought a woman could be worse than that. So I'm hopeful that it'll be soon, but I don't know if it will be.
You studying this stuff, you live, eat, and sleep this stuff. Who do you think, just a person of color or female, who do you think has the best shot when you hear and follow public affairs? So, some active governors out there. Is some members of Congress.
Yeah. I feel like I need to get better
who
at.
stands out? I mean, you told me who you admire, and,
Yeah.
but who stands out? Who do you turn the TV on and you is like, they have that it factor? You gotta know it when you see it, because you studying it every day. You becoming an expert in it.
I know. I feel like I need to get better at identifying my politicians as well. But I don't want to be a broken record, but I love my local politicians too, like Chantel Brown, Nina Turner, AOC again. But yeah, I'm trying to think.
It's some big state governors that are out here.
Who would you say?
It's some people that I think have the ability and the right with the right election and the right momentum. I think of Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland.
Okay.
I think of Gretchen Whitmer and the governor.
See, these are some more names I need to learn.
Michigan. There are a number of people. I want to see Leader Jeffries as Speaker of the House, of course.
Yeah.
But
I had his brother as a professor, actually, for civil rights and Black Power movements.
I've had the opportunity to have him on the Talking to County podcast.
It was amazing. I loved it.
So there's individuals out there. But I wanted to get your pulse, because the purpose of this podcast is to find out the pulse of younger people, not the thoughts of older people like me, because older people like me tend not to get politics right anymore. Our predictions don't come out right anymore. Older people like myself.
And I think that's another thing.
Your generation, you all are going to determine our future politically. Yeah. To get on the right side of history rests with you and your generation.
The pressure's on, for sure.
And how do we motivate your generation to just be hyper engaged? Like we touched earlier on this podcast, the level of engagement and sacrifice that the civil rights movement was about. That brought about the Voters' Rights Act, that brought about the Civil Rights Act, that brought about women's right to vote, that brought about policy changes, like a woman could go to the bank and open up a bank account without having a man co-sign on it. That kind of change.
I think that
it's got to be your generation, Olivia.
I think that's something we need a lot.
In the generation after you, it's got to be. It's got to be a movement. It's got to be like not a snowball. It's got to be like an ice ball to have that kind of force.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I think unity and being willing to understand where people are coming from is very important to getting people to join like some sort of movement or grassroots movement. I think that coming from like a dinner debate sort of family, being able to understand people, where they come from, why they think the things they do, what we can do together, like how we can benefit from each other, will inspire people to unite and actually get work done, if that makes sense.
What are the most powerful civic organizations that are part of what's next?
I don't feel like I don't know. I think that that's another thing in my generation. I feel like I'm always lacking like news and knowledge about things that I wish I knew. I don't know. Like I don't even know if I could draft like civic organizations that I think are on the rise and running things.
You know, you mentioned SNCC. You think about the NAACP. You think about the Rainbow Coalition. You think about Operation Hope. You think about all of these grassroots organizations that over time were, formed to advocate and call for change. You think about the role that the National Urban League plays. What organizations that are youth-based, younger people. And when I say youth, I mean 18 to 30.
That's hard. I mean, I know we have NAACP on campus, but I don't really feel like there's a major presence of people in my generation being involved in civic organizations really that much at all. I feel like I've always been someone that's very interested in like nonprofit work, volunteering, stuff like that. And that's just not that common. Like when I was in high school, two of my best friends and I, one of which goes here and the other one is at UNC, we made a small nonprofit called Desks for Success during COVID, where we were building desks for students in need, whether that was in Shaker or Cleveland Metropolitan School District. And I think that's something I learned was like, people don't really want to do this work right now. Some people are really, really passionate about it, but not everyone. So I would be interested to see, one, what civic organizations are looking to target people in like my age range, but also like how we'll get people in my generation more involved. Because I think it can get tiring to always be posting on social media and then not really do anything like outside of your phone. But I think people also sometimes don't know where to go or have the energy because they feel burnt out with everything going on. But I'm hopeful that my generation, as we move through a changing political climate, start to get more involved in things that are civically engaged.
Yeah. I mean, I hear on social media, and as we wind up this podcast, I hear on social media about influencers and they're paid to influence. But are there any of these influencers in this space?
It disappoints me. I think that there are some, but they don't gain traction as much as people that are pushing like makeup and shoes and clothes. And I'm like, our priorities are shifting in a crazy sort of way. And we might need to head back towards, I mean, that stuff is awesome. That stuff matters too. Like that's boosting our economy and it's art and fashion, all that stuff. But I would like to see more focus on like the world that we are creating with my generation instead of just like materialism. Not to be negative, but I would be interested to see where our hearts are at. Really.
What the influence are. Using influence for things that matters. Exactly. At least to bring some kind of balance in there. So as we conclude, what else did I miss that was that you envisioned us talking about that you want to touch on?
Let me think.
And if you want to tell young people one thing, and I'm saying young people globally, what would that something be?
Yeah. I think that's a great question.
If you had them all sitting before you, you had the future sitting in front of you.
I honestly think that this is something that I've had to tell myself a million times and tell my little sister a million times. And my older sister too, just like never doubt yourself and try and keep pushing, because I think there were so many times growing up where I was like, oh my goodness, like I didn't do well in this. I can't do this anymore. Like I'm not going to be able to reach this because of this that happened a year ago or something like that. But I've learned from my parents, professors, informational meetings I've had across county agencies that things are expected to change and you can change with it and still have like your dream life or your dream career and still be so happy in life. So I think just not being hung up on what you expected to happen and like not necessarily allowing things to happen to you, but taking advantage of things that come to you and being open-minded.
So keep going.
Yeah.
Don't quit.
Yeah.
Be resilient.
And it's okay not to know what you're doing. I think that was one of my biggest fears. And now that I'm approaching graduation, I'm like, I still kind of don't know what I'm doing, but I feel comfortable about it because I'm taking the steps to get to where I want to go. So I think that's probably the most important thing to me right now.
Push through self-doubt.
Yeah.
Bring confidence.
Yeah.
And pushing through self-doubt is what young people need.
For sure.
And don't give up on their dreams
Exactly.
and aspirations.
Exactly.
And just work.
Yeah.
Work hard, people.
Work hard, play hard.
Work hard, play hard. Okay. Anything else? Well, as we wrap up. Anything else? This is your time. You got these last.
I love Franklin County. I love Ohio State. And I'm so happy to be here. I loved this.
We happy to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. We are wrapping up. This was a great episode talking about issues that matter to those that are in college and those that are early in their careers. And even I hope that this podcast, if you are a high schooler and you listen to this podcast, I'm hoping that you learn something that you can take away that will be very beneficial. So thank you all for listening. And as I always close, do you, because nobody else has time to. Thank you.